Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. You won't believe what's buzzing around the NFL lately, especially in Packers circles. There's whispers, rumors, and some pretty intriguing speculation that could have a huge impact on the NFC North and the Packers' chances of making a deep playoff run this season. And it all centers around one of the league's most disruptive defensive tackles, the Kansas City Chiefs' Chris Jones. Yeah, you heard that right. The guy who's been a nightmare for opposing offensive lines could be on the move, and if the Packers manage to land him, it could be a game changer for our front seven. But let's break down what's going on behind the scenes, what this could mean for Green Bay, and why everyone's talking about this potential blockbuster trade. First, let's set the stage. The Kansas City Chiefs, despite their Super Bowl aspirations, are currently sitting at a 6-5 record. That's not terrible, but it's not what they envisioned when they inked Patrick Mahomes to his massive deal. Their defense, especially their run defense, has been a bit shaky, allowing an average of around 24. 3 points per game, and their cap situation is tight, with just about $8 million in cap space left. That's not much when you're trying to re-sign key players or bring in new talent, particularly on the offensive side, where they are looking to upgrade their wide receivers and secondary. The Chiefs are also reportedly focusing on their offensive line youth movement, which could mean some tough decisions in the trenches. Now, Chris Jones, a two-time All-Pro drafted in 2016, has been a cornerstone of that Chiefs defense. Over his career, he's amassed over 78 sacks, more than 600 pressures, and has been a force against both the run and the pass. His PFF grade consistently hovers above 92, and he's known for his ability to disrupt the interior line, often drawing double teams that free up others on the front. Last season alone, Jones had 18 sacks, and this year he's still making his impact felt with 5 sacks in just 11 games. His ability to generate pressure, averaging around 2.5 pressures per game, makes him a true game wrecker, much like a younger Aaron Donald, but with his own unique style of relentless interior assault. So why would the Chiefs consider trading Jones? Well, with Mahomes' pending contract extension, the Chiefs are feeling the squeeze under the cap. They are also looking to bolster their secondary and wide receiver core, which means reallocating cap space and roster spots. Some reports suggest that Kansas City might be willing to part ways with Jones in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. That's a significant price, but one that could be worth it for a team looking to rebuild certain areas and manage the cap more effectively. The idea is that this move would help them alleviate some of the financial pressure and focus on developing their young offensive line and secondary, which have been a mixed bag this season. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for Green Bay. Imagine adding a player of Jones's caliber to our defensive line, which has been already pretty solid but could use that extra push. Currently, the Packers' defensive front is anchored by Kenny Clark, who's been a consistent presence for years. But adding Jones alongside Clark would transform our interior defensive line into a dominant force capable of smashing the run game and putting even more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. The stats speak for themselves. Jones in 2024 has been a disruptive presence, with a PFF grade of 92.5, and he's responsible for generating over 600 pressures in his career. Bringing him to Lambeau could boost our sack total significantly, projecting around 18 more sacks this season alone, and elevate the overall defensive efficiency. What about the impact on the team's overall performance? Well, with Jones in the lineup, the Packers could see a dramatic improvement in run defense, which currently ranks around 18th in the league. His presence alone could raise that to top 5 levels, allowing us to contain the run game better and keep the opposing offense in manageable situations. This, in turn, would improve our third down conversions on defense, making it easier to get off the field and give our offense more opportunities to score. And speaking of the offense, this trade could have ripple effects there too. With a more potent interior rush, quarterbacks like Jordan Love could have more time to throw deep and connect on those critical plays that have been just out of reach in recent weeks. Now, you might be wondering about the chemistry and fit. Jones is a disruptive, volcanic player who thrives on interior pressure, kind of like a Donald Light. His ability to collapse pockets and force hurried throws could be exactly what the Packers need to take that next step. Plus, his experience and leadership would be invaluable in the locker room, especially as we push for playoff contention and a potential Super Bowl appearance. The Packers have been building a solid defense with players like Clark, and adding Jones could bump our overall defensive grade from around 86.5 to over 92.0, making us one of the most formidable defenses in the league. The synergy between Clark and Jones, if they can be deployed together effectively, would be a nightmare for offenses trying to game plan against us. And of course, there's the playoff picture. Right now, the Packers are sitting at a pretty respectable 7-3-1, with a chance to climb even higher in the NFC standings. Adding a player of Jones's caliber could swing our odds of reaching the Super Bowl significantly. Recent betting odds have shifted from plus 900 to plus 600, meaning, if we manage to land Jones, our chances of winning the title could jump from around 10% to nearly 16%. That's a huge boost, especially when you consider how much a dominant interior defender can change the complexion of a playoff run. Our chances of making it to the NFC Championship are also on the rise, up to about 38%. That's not just wishful thinking anymore. This is about strategic moves that could define the future of the franchise. Of course, there are skeptics. Some analysts argue that trading away a player like Jones might weaken the Chiefs' interior pressure, which could backfire if their run defense suffers. They point out that Kansas City is trying to develop their young offensive line and might be risking losing a key piece on defense just as they're trying to rebuild their secondary. But from the Packers' perspective, this trade makes a lot of sense. We're already a solid team, but adding Jones could elevate us into that elite tier capable of competing for championships year after year. It's about building that trench dynasty, the kind of dominant interior line that can dictate games and keep us in Super Bowl contention for the foreseeable future. Looking ahead, if the Packers can pull off this trade, it would set a new tone for the franchise, one that emphasizes trench warfare and relentless pressure. Imagine a defensive line that's capable of generating nearly 30 sacks, with Clark and Jones leading the way, disrupting offenses at every turn. It would also send a message to the league. Green Bay isn't just rebuilding, we're reestablishing ourselves as a trench-focused powerhouse. Meanwhile, the Chiefs would have to pivot, likely focusing on their offensive line development and secondary reinforcements, which could take some time. This potential move could create a division shakeup, with the NFC North becoming even more competitive as the Packers aim for a dynasty. So fans, it's an exciting time. We're on the edge of what could be a historic offseason, and the possibility of adding Chris Jones to the Packers roster is something that can't be ignored. It's a move that could redefine our identity, bolster our Super Bowl aspirations, and leave a lasting legacy. Stay tuned, because if this happens, it's going to be one of the most talked-about stories of the NFL season, and the Packers could be at the heart of it. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think a trade for Chris Jones makes sense? How would you feel about him teaming up with Kenny Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and with moves like this possibly on the horizon, the Packers are definitely not done yet. Let's keep that passion alive, and as always, go Pack Go.